fucking Professor Oak's like, there's only 150 Pokemon. Oh, fuck. I forgot about Johto. And be like, you are the biggest fucking joke ever, sir. You told me there was 150?
Are you telling me you didn't know about these other very populated
He was like, when I said there's only 150, I meant in our tri-state area.
Welcome to the United States of Paranormal Podcast. Sit down and buckle up for an enlightening ride through everything cryptid, creepy, and paranormal.
Welcome to the United States of Paranormal, your weekly road trip through all things cryptid, creepy, and paranormal. This is Logan.
This is Matt. Boze.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Team Tejas bringing you your spooky for this week. We've got Matt, I was about to say producing, delivering his case, story,
I'm just going to be
lore,
bullshitting on the mic.
legend, whatever it may be. We've been sitting here bullshitting for the last
fair.
hour and 45 minutes, so we figured it was time to get on the mic and actually start doing something productive.
Yeah, I fucking know, right?
Productive, like we're active members of society.
What is today? What's today, the 18th?
Yeah, 18th.
So
17th, I think.
No,
18th.
18th.
Oh, okay. All right, excuse me.
for the 18th of December, getting closer and closer to the new year. I think this is the last story for Tejas
Yes, this episode's
and
actually
the
going
year
to air
2022.
right after Christmas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we are filming on the 18th, so it's still before Christmas. So to get us in the holiday spirit, or to kind of capstone the holiday spirit for our listeners, I decided to talk about the Krampus.
Listen, bitch, you can't just fucking bypass the small talk. People come to expect the small talk. What do you guys want for, like...
Yeah, we need to go over our number one complaint every episode.
Small talk from white guys. Well, because that's specifically what that one reviewer pointed out. He was like, it's a bunch of small talk from men nonetheless. And we're like,
Yeah,
what the
it's a
fuck,
podcast.
dog?
Did you not expect middle-aged white guys?
What's wrong with men having small talk? He made it sound like it was like a shameful act for men to have
If
small
only
talk.
we had a beer to go along with this.
So, let me ask you guys.
Okay.
Do
okay.
either of you have a favorite Christmas present you ever got? I'm going to go with as a non-adult. So, post-20. Or pre-20, sorry. Pre-20. You know? Somewhere in that range. Like, favorite present that you could think of. You both just give me blank-ass stares. Like, I could think of, like, 3 presents, like, top list for me instantly. Like, toy-wise, alone.
Yeah,
Let's bypass
you're barking
this.
up the wrong tree, dog.
Well, there's got to be presents that somebody has gotten you. Not necessarily, like, on Christmas Day, but, like, a Christmas present from, like, a friend or a relative.
I actively remember me and Matt just about every Christmas bitch about our presents every year.
Well, because we get something fucking stupid. And they'd be like, hey, Matt, I know your birthday's coming up. My birthday's early in December. So here's a present for you and your brother. And this also counts as your Christmas gifts.
That's the worst.
Yeah. So, no, I don't necessarily have a favorite present around Christmas time. I remember one year we got a TV for our bedroom back when CRTs were a thing.
Thick boys.
I don't even think that was for Christmas.
It might not have been.
I remember one of my, CRT, like, TV in bedroom memories. I had a small TV in my bedroom just for the Sega Genesis. Like, small ass TV. And, like, no cable, nothing or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's a VHS player on it, but parents would make sure the VHSs weren't in my room because I would be inclined to put it in my TV and stay up, right?
Uh-huh.
One day I finally decided, it's like, all these cartoons depicting people putting hangers above a TV to get reception. There's got to be a basis on this. There's got to be a thing, right? And it's in the month of December, and I slap a fucking metal and fucking hanger on top of this thing and start moving it. And I start hearing shit. And then I start seeing shit. And next thing I know, I've queued up Home Alone on something. And it was probably one of the happiest moments of my childhood. It's like, I'm going to watch Home Alone at like 9 o'clock at night. This is going to be dope as shit. Now, I was sitting there having to tweak it pretty consistently. And then when I finally figured out where it was, like, I jammed fucking things in the little thing to hold it where it was sitting and everything.
That's awesome.
But, like, that was one of my favorite memories as far as that. But, like, as far as, like, toys went, like, or like Christmas present in general, I would go with, two of them were at my granny's house in Kentucky. Like, we would just, every now and then, we would go somewhere for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Not often at all. But at my granny's house in Kentucky, I still to this day don't remember who got it for me. I don't know if it was technically a Santa Claus gift or it was from some, but like my parents weren't super inclined to get me Power Ranger stuff. Never was a thing.
Yeah.
But I got the turbo Jeep with Justin in it and everything, and I have one to this day because I fucking just loved it so much.
Uh-huh.
But I got that there, and that was dope as hell. And then one year I got the Batman animated, in Kentucky again, the Batman animated series Batmobile, which I also have as an adult.
That's dope.
And it had the one where it slid out the back and it was like a jet, and it was cool. I'm inclined to think it was my granny because it really wasn't in the vein of my parents' gift giving for that.
Yeah, I remember one year for Christmas, my mother got me, for my birthday, she got me a Zelda branded cheap-ass ocarina. And then for Christmas, like 2 weeks later, she got me another Zelda-branded cheap-ass ocarina.
And you can never have enough ocarinas.
Oh, and she gave me the same thing, too. She, like, bought this shit on bulk.
Well, yeah, she was at the mall, and there was that one guy, but like, would you like an ocarina? She'd be like, I'll take 4. Yeah. Done and done. Did y'all remember, were you guys Fox kids? Did you watch Fox
yeah.
Kids? Okay, so you guys remember Action Man?
That
No.
sounds familiar.
I know of Action Man as an adult, but I don't recall ever watching Action Man.
Like, he had shit like the extreme skateboard, like where it had the big knobby wheels on it and shit like that. One year, like, I'm guessing my dad fucking got into, like, was enthused about it because it was the closest thing as to the G.I. Joes that he was always trying to push on me.
Yeah.
As possible, because Action Man came in like that big ass G.I. Joe.
Because he wanted you to be a manly man.
Yeah. And it was like an Action Man Christmas. Like, it was weirdly themed Christmas. Like, I liked Action Man as a kid, but I wasn't like kneeling at the altar of Action Man. Like, it came on Fox Kids, I didn't click it off, you know?
Yeah.
I watched it, and I thought that skateboard was the coolest shit ever because it was a skateboard that was all terrain, had big fucking knobby wheels on it and shit, right?
Okay, I think I remember this show.
But-
I think the reason why we didn't really watch it was because something else came on WB Kids at
So
the
I
same
didn't have
time.
WB Kids, so I couldn't.
Yeah, so because like we would flip flop between the two channels.
I just had Fox Kids, that was it. If it wasn't on Fox Kids, I wasn't
Well,
catching
it
it.
was that Disney. I mean, Disney was also
Yeah, Atwood, Indiana didn't
We-
pick up a
we
bunch of
had-
channels.
We had cable.
Yeah,
We did have cable growing up. So we did have a lot more channel
Yeah, we didn't have
options
cable.
as kids.
That's why I wasn't like versed on like Halloween Town and all that shit, because literally, like in Atwood, Indiana, we had just a few networks and Fox was one of them. So like I said, it was all Fox Kids for me. And then when we went overseas, it was AFIS, the American Forces channel. So that was just a smattering of whatever the Army could afford
Yeah.
thrown into one channel. So you'd be getting like the Wild Thornberries, Chalk Zone, whatever generic Fox Kids show that was cheap enough for them to buy, all just crammed together. But it was a very like themed Christmas. It was Action Man. Like I said, I liked. I'd watch it, but it wasn't like I was like woo Action Man, and it was like all of the toys are Action Man, and also it'd be like here's Action Man with this extreme skateboard, here's Action Man with the parachute. So you just end up with a bunch of the same fucking dude.
Yeah, we got a couple cool toys growing up, but I don't remember when we got them. Like at one point we had the Thunder Megazord.
See, there was one Megazord ever that my parents actually bought me. The rest I got from either bartering with Charlie, my next door neighbor, through my window, trading him shit for his shit, or me getting from other kids because like they weren't really into Power Rangers.
Yeah.
There's only one Megazord they ever bought for me that was mine, brand new. Like I slapped the stickers on this bitch and everything, and that was the Lightspeed Megazord, and that was because it was on clearance at Walmart, and my mom snagged it for me. That is the only one I ever had brand new. I remember I had the Shogun Megazord.
Yeah.
I had the black Megazord. How that broke into individual like actual Zords
Yeah.
like things. I only had the black part of the Shogun Megazord. And I would always play with it, and I'd be like, "This would be real cool."
We
if,
did
I
have-
had the other.
We did have some stuff. It's just I can't remember when or how we got them. Like I used to have Batman the animated series. We had action figures.
Well,
of
yeah.
that.
Well, because like
We had a
Big Lots would get
Batmobile
shit like
and-
that, so I would get Batman the animated figures.
Yeah.
every now and
No.
then. Like I had a Robin.
Back when we had
I
the,
still have a Riddler from that.
yeah, back when we had the coolest toys, it's so far back, it's hard for me to recount
Yeah.
what we had. As the eras where we remember a lot better, the best thing we probably had were Game Boys.
Yeah, same.
And even then, as with most young kids in that era, you didn't have a lot of Game Boy games.
I would be the kid on the playground where all these kids have their fucking like 92 fucking MMPR fucking morphers, like their actual morphers.
Yeah.
And I would have the McDonald's morpher
Yeah.
that you got at McDonald's. And they'd be like, "Oh, it's morphin' time." And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Fuck off, Kmart kid." And I'd be like, "Oh."
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how many times have we fucking played through Crystal and Yellow?
I can't
It
tell
was
you
just
how
like
many
when we
times-
would finish playing through it, we would trade the cartridges, and then we would just start playing on the other one.
I can't tell you how many times I justified stealing something from another kid because they made fun of me for being poor and not having cool stuff. And I'm like, "That's fine. I'll take yours."
We also had
Yeah,
that.
that's it. I don't think any of us grew up rich, or grew up well off. I should say, not even.
We did
rich,
have did have computers. Spent a lot of time.
We had a hand-me-down Windows 98.
There was a computer in our house in Atwood.
Yeah, I'm about to say, where other kids grew up with toys and love, we grew up with the internet. So at least there's that.
Like I said, usually if there was like a toy that I like wanted, it would normally be something I got with Christmas money or birthday money from someone. Like Bionicles, I would get with
Never
Christmas
had
or
Bionicles.
with birthday money. And then and then I would have the ones McDonald's
we
had
had-
Bionicles for a little while too, like the lady.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did have one McDonald's Bionicle.
I did, yeah, too.
One year for my birthday, I got a Garth Brooks album.
Nice.
And then for Christmas, I got the exact same Garth Brooks album from another family member.
That's what's up. I got, like I said, a lot of my stuff came from bartering with Charlie though. He would come to my screen window, usually when I was grounded from going outside.
Yeah.
And I would push out the screen window and we would fucking trade toys because he'd have whatever over there. So he wouldn't care. Like I got the Ninja Megazord with like the frog, wolf, and everything.
Yeah.
And his dog had chewed off the jaw of the wolf. So I had a fucking wolf with a fucky mouth. But
Yeah.
it was still like, I was like, "Oh, it's the fucking Ninja Megazord." And I'd be like, I don't know, you remember those, you guys ever go to Big Lots as a kid?
Yeah.
You remember those skeleton action figures? Like those gnarly looking skeleton action figures? I'd be like,
not
"Would you
really.
want this action figure we got for $5 for that Ninja Megazord?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking righteous."
We did have at least some of the Zords from the Ninja Megazord that were the McDonald's.
Yeah, the ones where they sat inside them
Yeah.
and they rolled and everything. Yeah.
I remember we had the frog specifically. I don't remember if we necessarily had anything else.
Charlie was crazy about animals, so I would trade him like generic, like little plastic lizards and shit for like really dope toys.
Man,
and
you
my
really-
parents never questioned it
You
either.
really did Charlie dirty.
Charlie was the one that was like, "Hey, do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, fuck it." You can talk to. I remember we could have Charlie on right now, and he'd still be like, "Yeah, it was cool, it's fine." But like, my parents never really questioned like where I got like Pokemon Yellow from, or like where'd you get this big ass Megazord you're playing with. They never batted an eye at it.
Well, speaking of like people being done dirty as younger, I watched a series of video where this guy was talking about when he was in school, I guess elementary school, he would bully this kid that was supposed to be his friend and always take his food
yeah.
and say that he didn't need the food. And then he's like, "So, I mean, if you're this person, hey, I'm sorry, and I'd like to buy you pizza." And then the dude made a video responding to it. He's like, "Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I'll take you up on your offer, man. You know,
You
that's-
owe me a pizza.
Kids do stuff." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of heartwarming."
Yeah. And then you find out he went and had pizza with him, and he shot.
I have been holding this grudge for 20 years.
Thanks for the pizza, bitch.
There have been like, so I know you don't watch TikTok, but maybe you've seen these videos elsewhere. I have seen, there was an old series on, I say old series, like it's that old, but there was a series on TikTok for a while where this guy would not recreate, but kind of do these Skyrim videos on TikTok. And I recently found out the dude that was making those fucking killed somebody.
Oh.
And he doesn't make them anymore because he's in jail.
Jeez.
And that's apparently a common thing where a lot of these TikTok creators have like snapped and killed people.
There was a Christmas that I I think this is when I figured out as a kid, like I 100% cemented for me. Parents, if your kids are in the room while listening, earmuff them. where I finally deduced completely that Santa Claus wasn't real, because I was digging and I found a giant heap of Gorgonites action figures in my parents' closet.
Ooh.
And I was fucking stoked. I was like, oh man, like I might, at this point I was like, maybe Santa isn't real, but either way, Gorgonites for Christmas, right?
Hell yeah.
Because at this point I had just been getting like the Commando Elite because my dad's an Army dude, so that's what I was getting. And somehow I let it slip that I knew they were in there. So I roll up on Christmas, right? And when I come out to the tree, guess what's under the tree? All Commando Elites, right?
Yeah.
Well, later that day, I go to Skylar Gunner's house to go see our family for Christmas, right? Every one of those toys I saw in my parents' closet, Gorgonite-wise, Skylar and Gunner had. So to this day, I haven't had clarification if I fucked myself by saying that I, like, being like, I found these, and then they just swapped with my uncle and my aunt. I'm fairly certain that's what happened, though.
I mean, that'd be pretty slick.
Yeah, but if fucking... Now, as an adult, I own all the Gorgonites because I bought them all. But still, I think I fucked myself. I haven't got clarification, but I think... Unless my parents were just housing them for Bobby and Jeremy...
I mean, maybe.
And they might have been, but, like, I didn't see a single fucking Commando Elite in that closet. But come Christmas, they were all there, and all the Gorgonites I saw in that closet were at my cousin's house, so I might have just boned myself completely.
I mean, let's face it, it's probably
what happened. But, like, Jeremy listens to this, so maybe he'll clarify for me if he even remembers. But, like I said, those are toys that were dope as shit for that whole movie. They came in great packaging and everything. And they're just expensive as shit to get.
Yeah, those were one of those toys that always wanted but never got.
Yep.
I don't know. That's just a weird movie.
This is a great movie.
It was such a cool movie. It was awesome.
I mean, it's borderline a horror flick.
Oh, no, it is. Absolutely. And parents got pissy when Burger King had the toys for it because parents started taking kids to theaters and kids started having fucking nightmares and shit. Because the fucking Commandos Elites were coming at kids with little fucking buzzsaws, shooting people with nail guns. And the Barbie scene alone was nightmare.
It was like PG-13 Puppet Master.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty fucking gnarly. Like they're cutting people with fucking grinders and shit, and fucking that kid's dad got like 6 nails in the leg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Barbies were trying to mutilate people. Like pretty fucking sketchy. Great movie though.
Speaking of great movies and PG-13 horror,
Segway.
just watched Krampus. I mean, we've seen Krampus before, but specifically watched it again for this episode
I
and
still
for the
haven't
holiday
watched it.
a couple nights ago.
Fantastic movie.
Took it and streamed
I
it over
need to see
Discord,
it.
and whoever was interested in joining us in our friend group was welcome to.
We still need to watch
it.
I want to watch that David Arbor flick.
David Harbour.
Herber. Violent Night.
Great movie. I freaking love Krampus, and I didn't realize it was made by the people who made
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Yep.
And a couple other films that I really enjoy. So if you haven't seen Krampus, the 2015 Krampus film, highly recommend watching it. It's fun. Don't get me wrong; it's not amazing, but it's a fun holiday horror film.
Daughtry just needs to do a holiday universe. He just needs to make one for every fucking season because he killed Halloween, he killed Christmas. Now he just needs to do everything else. I don't care what holiday it is. He could do Valentine's Day. He could do Thanksgiving. He could do fucking anything. I'd go watch it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be great. And a great memory about the 2015 Krampus film.
Oh, my God.
When we went to see it originally in theaters, we might have saw it on premiere day.
We did.
might
We
have
went and saw it on premiere day.
Yeah, we watched through the film, and we were sitting pretty close to the front, I think, because it was a crowded theater. It was before you could pre-select your seats.
Yeah, large group of friends. That's why we got stuck with shitty seats, because we had to try to get everybody next to each other.
And we get close to the end of the film, and one of
Spoiler alerts, by the way. If you haven't watched
I'm not going to spoil
Okay,
anything.
okay.
And one of our friends gets up, throws his hands up into the air,
Screams he's fucking done.
yeah, and storms out of the theater, making a huge scene.
Fuck, it was embarrassing.
The scene lasts maybe 2 more minutes, and it
clarifies some things.
Yeah.
And makes a very vivid point that our friend was being a jackass
Yep.
and not paying attention to context clues in the fucking movie.
And you get so mad that you storm out to yell at him and end up spoiling the end for the crowd of people that were waiting to come in and watch the film.
Yep. I fucking yell at him what happened, and literally 2 dudes beside me are like, dude. And like, I was so mad that I wasn't even paying attention. There's people around me. I was just fucking livid.
So it was like that Simpsons scene where Homer goes up, man, I never imagined that Vader was Luke's father.
Dude, it was so fucking embarrassing and fucking, it made me so angry that I legitimately was not paying attention to my surroundings. I just wanted to fucking yell at him. And the other day we were in a chat with the same person, and he was like, hey, this movie's coming out. You guys want to go together? And I was like, dude, I'm never going to a movie with you ever again. I was like, you think I've forgotten about this? And he was just like, quiet. He was just like, he didn't say shit.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like, no, I'll fucking hold on to that memory for the rest of forever. Homeboy could be on his deathbed and be like, let's go watch a movie together. And I'll lean in and be like, fuck no, and unplug it. Yeah, no. Yeah, I feel like an asshole for spoiling it for those people, but at that moment I was just so fucking mad and embarrassed. I just wanted to yell at him.
Oh, yeah, that was just such a great piling on to the scene that was already created.
Yeah. Ugh.
Good times.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, Krampus.
Yeah, the Krampus. Are we getting into the story now, or did you want to spend another 20 to 40 minutes?
You gotta get the small talk in, dog.
Small talk.
Look, we have to give the crowd what they don't want.
Yeah.
User, some guy on the internet who apparently doesn't enjoy banter with his podcast.
No, he doesn't enjoy white men banter for his podcast.
Men don't do small talk. That's what I learned from reviews.
No, well, we are breaking that glass ceiling.
Yeah, we are.
Is small talk not masculine? Is that the problem?
I don't fucking know. This dude has fucking way too much lead in his fucking brain. That's what it
We can
is.
talk about feelings. We can talk about feelings.
That'll make him even more mad. Now they're talking about feelings.
Do you think he hate watches all of our banter, just our banter?
Yep.
So he could be angry?
Probably.
We hold a grudge.
But you know what? He doesn't realize he still counts as a number for us.
Yeah. Joke's on you, fucker. A review's a review.
So I figured I'd start tonight with a poem.
Oh, God.
No,
now
we're
everyone's
definitely not gonna
clicking
like
off.
that. Now they're reading poems.
We'll get the fire going. Everybody gather round, sit down, and we'll
All right.
we'll
now,
share
Matt,
this lovely poem I made.
now we need Matt to stop trying to seduce us because it's just coming off as creepy.
I don't know. I'm hard. No, he's like, now they're gay.
It's like, joke's on you. We've been gay this entire time.
Oh, that's bold and well, because this is absolutely the kind of person that probably would have shit on a fucking Costco floor for them telling him to put a mask on. I digress. Poem time. The slam poetry or just normal poetry?
No. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the town the Krampus was stirring with a fearsome frown. He had come to punish the naughty and bad, leaving coal in their stockings and making them sad. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. But the Krampus was lurking, ready to strike. He had a long list and would not be polite. He checked all the houses with a sly, sneaky tread, searching for misbehaving children who should be punished, not fed. The naughty ones quaked with fear at the sight of the Krampus' long tongue and horns that shone bright. But the good children, they had nothing to fear, for the Krampus would leave them sweet treats and cheer. So if you've been naughty, beware this night, for the Krampus is coming to give you a fright. The end.
So is this a kink poem?
I just...
Hearing about long tongues and horns and...
So...
Listen, Krampus, if not anything, is absolutely the definitive definition of kinky. Or the real campus lore.
So, plot twist. I didn't write that. An AI wrote that. And I thought it was
Goddamn
not
robots.
garbage enough that I would
Not
share
garbage
it.
enough. I'm sure the AI appreciates you referring to its work like that.
That wasn't
Hey,
garbage.
that's not garbage enough.
I don't think an AI
Now the
is-
question is, did
Yeah.
this AI actually steal from other creatives?
I mean, I don't know.
Didn't steal, it was fed. There's
I
a
don't know how you
difference.
train an AI like this. Like, it's not like a poem generating AI. It's a chat bot. This is specifically, it's Chat GPT. And I've just been playing with it past several days, experimenting with it. And as I was prepping this story, I was like, you know what? I want to create a Krampus poem, but I suck creatively. So let's try with an AI. And this was the first hit. Every other hit after this was complete garbage.
Well, you can tell your AI that it was nice, but he got a lot of the lore wrong because Krampus don't leave treats for nobody.
He doesn't leave treats. No.
That's St. Nicholas's job.
That was
Krampus is there for punishment.
Well, and I was saying that too because there's a big controversy right now with like AI stealing from.
Oh, believe me, I know.
art.
I'm in a very heavily art-based community with the Power Ranger stuff, and there is a lot of people.
It's not every AI generator,
No.
but the big one right now is actually going to the point where it's stealing art from other artists and leaving their watermark in
Let's
the
be
art.
clear.
Yeah.
The AI itself is not stealing. The AI is being fed.
Yeah, they're using other artists' art to train the AI. And the problem is, I mean, we're in...
Well,
we don't know what to do copyright-wise about...
Well, so that's the thing, though. It's not that it's just being fed. It is literally taking the art and transforming it, but keeping art from that
Yeah.
original piece. So, like, that's why you'll see the watermarks from the original art in the AI generated
Big thing
stuff.
in my community, and everything is there are people petitioning because it's already been seen where people are generating art and these things, slapping their logo on it and selling prints at cons.
Ooh, yeah.
And so now there's a huge movement in the art community of being like, hey, conventions, please ban this and don't let it be allowed.
Yeah.
Because these people are trying to profit off something they spent $3 or $7 on and just slapping their logo on it after it's done being like, well, technically I created it because I told it what to do.
Well, then,
Now I'm
the
selling this
question
print.
goes then, how do you know if it's AI generated or not?
Yeah. So, like, it's just something, it is a big hot button thing. in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
community as a
it's an
whole.
emerging technology, and there's lots of meetings happening right now to figure out how to handle copyright in terms of AI art generation.
Yeah. I don't mind the use of AI generated art. My question is always going to come down to, is it actually taking pieces of other people's art, and actually using it for whatever it's generating, or is it actually coming up with solely original art on its own based off of what it's seen in the past?
First, running a very art-heavy based page with New Frontier, I read about it because I just saw it everywhere. That specific one blew the fuck up. And, like, I was seeing all these creative teams that I see and interact with on a daily basis posting all this stuff. And my page, I use one artist. That's one of my things. I use him for Mighty. He is my artist. He's my definitive artist.
Yeah.
That is what gets posted on my page because it's a partnership. And then I was reading about this stuff and seeing everything, and I was just like, I made a post myself of like, advancement in technology is great. It's all this stuff, like giving it its merits because it's neat and it is in a development and it is growth in the AI community, which
it
is
has
fantastic.
a lot of use.
But I was like, I will not be utilizing photos like this or participating because I'm taking my stuff and paying an actual artist. That is what my page will reflect. My page will reflect the artist that I have done. That is it.
It's like what we do with our channel art for this podcast.
Yeah.
We use an actual artist to create our channel art. I will say we have used an AI-generated piece of art one time in our social media when Felipe told his personal story about a haunting. I used DALL-E to create a facsimile to try and capture what it is that he saw. So it wasn't getting it to generate something that was already existing. It was trying to generate a piece of art to capture the feeling of a shadow figure at the end of the hallway.
My problem with it is I was seeing people that I know for a fact hit up my artist who has some of the best prices you possibly have for the quality work he does.
Yeah.
And would tell him that he was too high priced when he's not. And then being like, these people that would constantly talk about their ideas, but they never get it done because they don't want to actually pay somebody. The amount in the artist community, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that think artists are obligated to just do things for them for free. They'll be like, hey, could you draw this for me? And expect it for nothing. It is a person's trade and time. They deserve to be paid for it.
Oh, yeah.
And the amount of like day to day, these artists that I know get hit up and they get told, oh, that's too expensive, or why can't you just do this for me? And then seeing those people that do that spend $7 and generate like 16 photos and be like, this is this, and be like, oh, or you could just save your money and support the artists that you badger all the time asking for free stuff. So the art, to be fair, the art community is really not super happy with it, and that's understandable.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. Like it's going to be a problem in a lot of different fields, not just the art community. And so learning how we're going to deal with it as a society, and eventually it's the new thing. So it's very popular right now. Eventually, it will integrate in some way, and things will adjust. But it will be hard on creatives, possibly even just going forward. But I think it will get better to an extent.
Yeah, well, and like this AI art is going to be a great tool for marketing departments because it means they can come up with more like different ideas and designs faster.
Yeah, it's a great way to spitball ideas.
Yeah,
I mean, I just like I've been playing with Chat GPT to figure out some marketing copy and stuff for some products that maybe will one day actually get put up in the store, and other things as well, and just experimenting with it, seeing what it can do, and then using it as a way, because I suck at like creating something from scratch, so I need a starting point.
Yeah.
And previously it was, hey, you send me something and let me make some tweaks to it, or let me start altering it and let it be my starting point. With AI, I can just put in a prompt and say, hey, draft marketing copy for this thing, and it'll draft something that ultimately is unusable, but it gives me a place where like figure out structure and stuff and where to start plugging in stuff that I would actually use in that. And so it becomes a very useful tool for somebody like me. You know, now, I'm not also looking to take advantage of it to make money bypassing other people.
You know, there's actually a really interesting anime you both may want to check out sometime, where they basically tackle some of this with like it's about music in the future. And it goes on about how most music is still being performed by live people, but the music is being made by computers. And so it's going like natural music versus computer music. And it's an interesting concept for an anime.
I mean, we're dealing with this problem right now. Currently there are meetings. For example, I've been in a music business class these past 12 weeks, and my teacher is one of the people who have been... one of the people they use to present to class has been in Washington in meetings about how are we going to handle AI-generated music and the rights that are associated.
Well, because like you had those
productions.
You had those two guys who had AI generate like 64 billion melodies, 2-bar melodies, just to be able to copyright and say, all right, now nothing can be copyrighted because we literally have every melody that could ever exist right here on a flash drive.
Yeah, so that's things that, like I said, there's a lot of work going into trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do about that in order to protect.
Yeah. Now, luckily, music isn't at the point where it's so much of a problem because, like, yeah, AI can generate some stuff, but it can't come up with, like, fully competent pieces yet.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no, eventually we will get there. We're not too far away from it, but... I mean, like, AI can't mix, AI can't master well right now.
I mean,
it's getting there.
There's huge popularity in AI-based mixing and mastering services.
Yeah, but
that's a big problem for people who do mastering work right now. Is all the online mastering services that people have started using. But it's
like Landar still can't compete with a legitimate mastering engineer,
right? But it doesn't necessarily have to. It just has to
be passable enough for somebody that's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, because here's the thing: mastering is already cheap. You can get
cheaper. People will always flock to what costs less.
So let me put it like this. Landar charges like $10 or $15 a song. A legitimate mastering engineer only costs about $50 per song.
Right, but you are talking about...
I mean, cheap musicians.
You are taking... Like, it's going to destroy the field for everybody who's not at the very top.
Because then you'll start having to compete with the prices of programs instead.
Yeah, exactly. Something where nobody has to do any work aside from initially programming whatever's being used. So it's is an interesting landscape, and we have to, as a society, have to try and figure out how to navigate that. Anyway, that's been our tech podcast section of this show.
Enough about the robot uprising. Let's get back into...
But yeah, anyway, I thought this was interesting that my first hit was actually something that wasn't the worst thing in the world. So I just wanted to share that and have a little fun. And then the rest of this is all written by hand and by myself. Not by hand, it's typed, but it is created by me, Matt, not artificial intelligence. Unless
some would say it's barely intelligent.
We live in unless we live
in Matt or the AI?
Matt.
Unless we live in a simulation, in which case we are all artificial intelligence.
He was hurt.
Might be because it's fucking 61 degrees up in this bitch.
Yeah, and I have allergies, and my nose has been running all evening. Hence, some fucking tissues in my pocket.
Gross.
I haven't used them yet. I pulled. Also, it's better than making the.
Wait, no, that's his left pocket. That's his jerkin tissues, not his blowing tissues. Wrong tissues. Let's talk about Krampus.
No.
So, the Krampus is the evil companion to Saint Nicholas, where Saint Nicholas brings good children toys.
Who's Saint Nicholas?
Nikolai.
I will be getting into that.
If you'd shut the fuck up. Continue, sir.
The Krampus finds the naughty, beats them with a birch fuck.
A birch fuck.
Beats them with a birch stick, stuffs them in a sack, and drags them down to hell.
Depending on the lore. Sometimes he doesn't drag you to hell. Sometimes he just shows up and beats the shit out of you with a bunch of sticks.
Although no one is... Yeah, there's honestly, there's a lot of different tellings of how the Krampus operates. That's just kind of the most popular.
It's tricky to land on it because, like, we can't even really pinpoint when Krampus started because he started so fucking long ago.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
There's been, like, bits and pieces of him in different places lore, but it's just hard to pinpoint when exactly he came around. It was definitely before Christ and all that shit, for sure.
Yeah. Segueing off of that, although no one is totally certain where the legend started, or it's... Sorry, I was using voice dictation as I was writing this. Some of this section here. I was holding a baby. Fuck.
God, why does your script say, "Oh, please be quiet, for the love of God, stop it"?
It does say, "Oh." Which
Go to sleep.
Threw me off. Okay, so although no one is totally certain where the legend started, its origin is rooted across several regions in Eastern Europe, specifically the Alpine region, Austria, and Germany. The name Krampus stems from the German word Krampen, which means claw, or possibly...
I thought it was one of those hip new dances. Krampen.
Shut up.
The Bavarian word Krampen, spelled differently, but only slightly, meaning withered or lifeless. One likely origin is from trying to remember the pronunciation for this word.
I believe in you.
From a holiday known as Perchtenlaufen.
Good old Perchtenlaufen.
It is a traditional folk event that takes place in Austria and some parts of Germany, usually around the Christmas and New Year's season. It involves a group of people dressed in costumes known as Perchten, who perform a procession or parade through the streets of villages. The costumes often feature masks, horns, and other decorative elements and are meant to represent either...
Do they wear clops?
Just ignore him.
I don't know what the fuck a clop is. Is that like a wooden sandal thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Clogs is what it's talking about. It is a
Clogs.
wooden shoe
Okay.
that are uncomfortable as fuck. If you've never put one on, holy shit. Whoever thought of wooden shoes was a fucking idiot.
It'd be very hard to find clogs in my size.
Well, because it's made. They were made for dance, like tap shoes.
Yeah, no, they're just still fucking holy
Yeah,
fuck.
they were like the original tap shoes.
Yes. Anyway, these elements are meant to represent either the good spirits or the bad spirits of the winter season. The good spirits, known as the... Fuck, I'm not going to pronounce this right. I don't even know if I could Google this because it's got German characters.
Lederhosen? Schockpärchen.
Schoenperchten
Perchken.
are typically depicted as wearing white or brightly colored costumes and masks, while the bad spirits, known as the Schietperchten, are typically depicted as wearing dark or demonic-looking furred costumes and masks.
There's nothing scarier than furries. Everybody just nodded in here in solidarity. We're an audio podcast. We're an audio format, and everybody here just fucking like stoically fucking nodded when I said that.
So this is where a lot of people think the origin of the appearance of the Krampus comes from is the Schietspurchten, because they are very animal-like, usually goat-like. They wear demonic-looking masks and dark furs. The origins of Perchtenlaufen can be traced back to ancient pagan traditions and customs that were believed to bring good luck and prosperity for the coming year. In modern times, Perchtenlaufen is often seen as a way to preserve and celebrate regional folk culture and traditions. It is a popular event in many parts of Austria and Germany and is typically accompanied by music, dancing, and other festival activities. Some older stories label the Krampus as a class of monster that would terrorize people during the Yule season. So there wouldn't be a Krampus, there would be Krampuses.
Krampi. A gaggle of Krampuses.
Let me
murder.
I got it.
And I found an interesting list of different Yule season monsters that maybe we'll discuss at a future seasonal time, because they were interesting. At some point, the Catholic Church embraced the Krampus legend and used him as a symbol of evil and the opposite of St. Nicholas, the virtue of good. At this point, his depictions started to become more devil-like in nature, sometimes less goat horns, oftentimes dark red skin, typical Christian depictions of Satan. He would often also at this point be portrayed as a servant of St. Nicholas, and often adorned with chains around his neck, wrists, or ankles.
Which is ironic because originally they were just homies. Like they would literally roll up together. Be like, here, I'm here to give you dried fruit and nuts because you were good. If you weren't, my homie here is here to beat the shit out of you with some sticks.
Yeah, and so some depictions show them, like you said, as homies. Some depictions he's chained up and being led by a leash with St. Nicholas.
Force of good my ass. What kind of force of good rolls around with that?
Okay, so let's talk about St. Nicholas. Also known as St. Nicholas of Myra. St. Nicholas was an early Christian bishop during the Roman Empire. He has many legends of his generosity and is said to have performed several miracles. December 6th is what's known as St. Nicholas Day. This is the day we celebrate his death. The stories on this day say that St. Nicholas would come into town distributing gifts to children who had been well behaved. The night of December 5th, similar to Christmas Eve in regular Christmas folklore.
This is a very prominent date in Germany.
Yeah.
And everything.
So December 6th is the day they celebrate it, like Christmas Day here. But the night of the 5th is when, just like with Santa Claus on Christmas Eve, is when St. Nicholas would actually go out and distribute gifts and stuff.
Yeah,
The children who had been well behaved. However, that same night, the Krampus would accompany St. Nick, and any children who was bad, the Krampus would proceed to hunt them down, beat them with a birch stick, or sometimes one of its chains. It would whip them with chains, shove that child into a sack, or sometimes it's shown as a wooden basket or a cage, and drag them down to hell. Or in some stories, he would drag them to the nearest river. So the 5th became known...
Those will be the river like a bag of cats.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So where the 6th is St. Nicholas Day, the 5th became known as Krampusnacht, which is celebrated in Germany and other European countries today. Also has become very popular here in the U.S. as well.
It's good to know that even going so far back to like times before Christianity, the parents were so fucking fed up with kids to where they're like, listen, if you don't be fucking quiet, this monster's going to come out of the fucking woods and beat the shit out of you with a bunch of sticks.
Oh, yeah. It was a very popular way of forcing kids to behave, or trying to force kids to behave.
Maybe that's your secret to the Liam problem.
Unlike...
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah. Unlike in the U.S., where we say if you don't behave, you're not going to get any gifts from Santa. In Europe, they would say if you're not good, you're going to get dragged down to hell by a giant fucking monster.
Listen, if you're good, St. Nick's going to roll up and he's going to give you an orange and maybe a piece of toast. And if you're bad, he's going to kick down the door, let his homie in, who's just going to beat the shit out of you. What? He's not going to put coal in my stocking? No, he's just got a wad of sticks and he's just going to whoop your ass.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to put on here, a thing that's very popular in Germany, has been popular for a very long time, is they would give out Christmas cards that would depict the Krampus on the Christmas cards, terrorizing kids, trapping kids into cages. Sometimes they'll even have Christmas cards where the Krampus is terrorizing adults. And
you got to keep the fear alive.
Yeah.
You got to stoke that fire. You got to let the kids not forget. Like, he's out there. He's waiting.
Anyone else knows how Matt pronounced cages?
Cages?
You said cases.
Hop off his nuts.
Are you really trying to come at me for mispronouncing something?
Yes.
Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep being productive.
All right, I'll remember that. I've picked on Logan a little bit. You're in my fucking crosshairs now because you mispronounce a lot of shit.
Continue with Krampus. And cards.
Yes. So the Christmas cards, they have all these Christmas cards that would depict different scenes. I kept trying to say thinking predict, but I knew that wasn't right. Would depict different scenes of like Krampus doing stuff. The weird ones are depictions where the Krampus is female.
Nice. Krampus titties.
Yeah, they give the Krampus sexy figures and stuff, and it's really. I mean, I guess
they do with Satan too. Everything gets sexied.
I guess everything gets sexy eventually, even Christmas cards and the Krampus.
Sexy Krampus.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually I don't know if it's something you discussed in there. There's actually fucking parades and festivals based around Krampus where a bunch of men dress up as Krampus and terrorize women.
Oh, that doesn't sound.
Okay, so interesting. I did not actually. So, yes, I am going to talk about Krampus runs and how we celebrate Krampusnacht in modern time. I didn't find anything talking about.
Oh yeah, there's like 2 towns. I think there's one in America too, where dudes dress up like Krampus and just terrorize women, and it's like it's deemed okay. It's definitely not PC, but it's a thing that happens.
Yeah. So to celebrate Krampusnacht nowadays, a lot of festivals are held, and they have Krampus runs, where a bunch of people will dress up as the Krampus and parade down the streets in large groups, scaring kids, poking at kids with typically just sticks, or some will go as far to grab birch sticks. I don't know that I'd recognize a birch stick if I saw one.
Birch trees are white. Like their bark's white with like black in it. It's really easy to depict. Like they're just basically just white sticks.
I'm bad at trees. I wouldn't know. But
like, what does he look like?
Yeah, this is a thing that they'll do, and what they'll also do in a lot of these parades is hand out bundles of twigs, also called ruttin, to the kids as to make them remember the lessons learned from the Krampus. I could only find information about Rutin in regards to the Krampus runs. I could not find anything about it being something that was like left behind during the stories about the Krampus. So I don't know necessarily where that came from.
I think it's just like as a reminder. Because, I mean, really, like, they'd have to make something for them to hand out because Krampus really never gave anything other than an ass whooping. So that'd be like, what can Krampus leave them? Like, I don't know, leave the stick behind.
Yeah, so I figure it was probably just something that they started giving out as, like, it's a parade, let's hand stuff out.
Yeah.
If you watch videos and stuff of the Krampus runs, it is pretty metal.
Yeah, no, it's chaos.
Yeah, they're dope.
Chaos.
I tried to do some digging to find a local Krampus festival or something within a decent range, so that maybe next year we might go hit one up. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find anything. Not necessarily surprising with this being the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find something interesting Krampus related next year.
Over in Germany and Europe in general, fucking Christmas is, to me, like, having the opportunity to be there for 3 years and everything during, is so much prettier and more of and way cooler looking. Because the St. Nicholas, the way he's depicted over there, is different than our Santa Claus. Like, St. Nicholas looks like he lives out in the wilderness. You know?
Yeah.
He looks like, he looks formidable. Like, he looks like somebody you wouldn't want to fucking square up with, to where our Santa Claus has got the rosy cheeks and everything. And, like, it's more of I know Christmas is a month-long event in the United States, but it feels more of a month-long event over there because you got like your advent calendars, you've got all these festivals they do. Like you said, at the beginning of the month is just as much as a holiday as the end of the month, because you like the 5th and the 6th are important days. You've got kids putting out their boots, hoping that St. Nicholas will leave them something in it. Usually is chocolate or fruits or nuts.
Yeah.
And everything. It's more of a month-long event over there.
Yeah, I'd love to check out Christmas in Germany sometime.
They have a bunch of festivals they do, like markets they do too every year. That's like a thing where you go out there and they have what's like Blue Vine, which is like a hot wine that adults get. That's really cool. And it's really nice.
So, you being the only one here who spent any time in Germany, I recognize you were a small child on a military base, so your version of Germany is probably very distilled compared to someone who was living out in the city. Mm-hmm. But do you have any memories of Krampusnacht?
A bunch of stuff, because see, like I did live on a military base, but my grandfather and my step-grandmother that lived in Germany lived off base at that time. Because when I was there, they were living there. Because my grandpa, when he got out of the army, he lived in Germany for a long time.
Yeah, I remember when we went to his lake house. That was sometime
That was recently after he just moved back.
Yeah.
So being that we'd have Christmas vacation, we would go to his house. So we would spend our Christmas off base. Okay. And we would go to all these festivals, and we would go to train stations where they would have trains for St. Nicholas that would roll up. St. Nicholas would show up on there, and kids would be out in the street with their boots, and St. Nicholas would put stuff in their boots on the 5th and everything. And you would see kids and stuff, like you would see boots and stuff outside houses and everything in the neighborhoods because they were getting ready for St. Nicholas to come and everything. And you would see at these little markets and everything Christmas cards with St. Nicholas or Christmas cards with Krampus on it and depiction of it all around. You'd see Krampus mask on like people's houses and like he'd be part of decorations and stuff. So it was dope. It was, in general, I would always love going to my grandpa's house for multiple reasons, just because I have a great relationship with my grandfather. But like just like the stepping off the military base and getting to be an actual like a German town and everything, you get stuff like on the weekends my grandpa would have a delivery. Bakeries out there would essentially deliver donuts to his house, but they were like these badass donuts that had like this like jelly in them and just stuff like that, like stuff you don't see here. You don't have fucking bakeries that show up to deliver this because they're local and this and that, and it was just dope in general.
Yeah, like I said, I'd love to one day go to Germany and experience what it's like, especially like as we learn more about a lot of these more lore-focused stories, the culture that has spawned this lore and how they embrace it in modern times, where everything in the U.S. is super commercialized. Yeah. Well, and so we end up taking a little bit from multiple different cultures. And so it's nice whenever you get an opportunity to see, well, this is what the actual culture's version of the story
you go over there and you can like get more of a scope on like pagan stuff. Or if you go to Ireland, the folklore of fairy folk and stuff, where like there's still like prominent beliefs in areas and like stuff that's like culturally impacted out there that are still that way. Meanwhile, in America, by the time we started forming this place, a lot of that stuff was already buried or pushed off by Christianity and kind of lost in transition. Meanwhile, places like that still hold near and dear to stuff like Krampus, or in Ireland with fairy folk and stuff like that. It would be nice to go out and see and soak in their natural habitats and everything. Would be dope.
All right, so let's get selling some body parts on the black market.
Yeah, no shit, and, right?
Hey, have you seen his body? He's not getting much for what he got left.
Fair enough. But that's all I had. I'm honestly kind of surprised about how little there really was for me to find to the story.
Because there's not much to it.
One day in the future, if we've been running long enough that we start revisiting some of our old stories, there's several books that I would like to read that were the sources of several of the places where I got my information. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just didn't really feel like there was too much.
Because at the end of the day, there's not too much to Krampus.
Yeah,
he's there for one day a year. He does what he does and he's gone. It's not like this is his origin. This is where he was born. It's like, no, a lot of things that's mixed up is a lot of people call him the Anti-Claus, and like nowadays a lot of people pit him against St. Nicholas and Santa Claus, and that's not the basis of his lore. His basis of his lore is they rolled up together. There was your carrot and your stick. You know,
Yeah.
You got your good kids get St. Nicholas, your bad kids get his homie. It's just what it was, carrot and stick in physical form. You got your carrot, St. Nicholas. You got your stick, ironically Krampus. And you know what Krampus has? Sticks. And he's going to hit you with them.
Yeah, if you don't behave, a giant goat monster is going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. And now in America, it's watered down to where it's like, if you don't behave, Santa's just going to give you coal.
Yeah.
So.
And now we'll talk about that. I'll edit this out. There was something, but I didn't get a chance to really look into it. Blair was telling me about, she had a coworker that's taking time off to celebrate Yule. And she was talking about how the burning of the Yule log is to like keep it going in your fireplace all night to help ward off spirits. And it dawned on me, like, that's where the fire thing from the movie Krampus came from, where they were trying to keep the fireplace lit to keep.
Well, yeah,
Krampus
because the moment that fire went out, what the fuck came down that chimney?
Yeah.
Not good shit.
And so at first I thought maybe that was part of the Krampus legend, but really I couldn't find anything that stated towards that. And it's more of just how that movie took part from another thing. And I hope to talk about Yule next year once I have a chance to research it, because I found a lot of interesting Yule season monsters.
Yeah. That's just
regards to
humanity
that.
as a whole, though. The moment we discovered fire, we started using it to wear off actual threats.
Yeah.
Like wild animals and stuff. And then it just became burn this to keep this away, or burn this to keep this away. Like burn sage, burn Yule. It just, fire became sacred to us the moment we discovered it, because it started saving our ass.
Yeah.
And then it just stretched into paranormal realms too. Like burn this, it will keep this spirit away, or burn this, it will keep that out.
So anyway, that's our last story of the year.
The next time we'll see you be at 2023.
Yeah.
That being said, you guys watched the last episode. We will be having new host because Alicia, like she stated in the last episode, is parted. And we just want to tell you, Alicia, we appreciate you being around. We'll miss you. Anytime you want to come back, come on back. We know it can be taxing to deal with Trashley and Jeremy on the Murd Nerds. So you ever want to come back to the cool team, you just saunter back on over here.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you come down to Texas? We'll put you on an episode with us.
Yeah, you can just be a part of Team Tejas now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the last one for this year. And then what, in February will be a year for us?
No.
March. We started recording.
Yeah, we started
February.
recording in
We didn't air until
Yeah,
March.
I think our first episode originally aired in like April 14th, I think.
Oh, shit. Okay.
yeah, it was April 1st.
So it will be a year in March from when we started working on it. But as far as actual release goes, I think we'll hit that 1 year mark in mark in April.
Okay. Before we peace out, anybody got anything that they're trying to do? Like, you guys have any traditions as adults?
No,
as Christmas goes?
as
Trying, I mean, my yearly tradition is try to avoid families and traditions.
Fair.
yeah, we didn't really have any traditions growing up, so not really anything to start with. Now that I have kids, I've already was talking to my wife here lately that like, okay, next year we have to decorate the house, and we need to start coming up with some traditions and stuff that our kids will appreciate as they.
I am going to do what I always do. Well, I'm going to be visiting family. That's a thing. But I will be. I try to watch. Always try to watch Gremlins, because Gremlins is very much a Christmas movie. I really just like. I like the idea, like that in Japan, that all these people are fucking eating KFC.
Yeah.
During Christmas, I hope that their KFCs are fried chicken is better quality than what we've got here.
I've actually watched a
Probably.
guy go to KFCs in Japan, and no, it's about the same.
But this idea of people just eating a bucket of fried chicken for Christmas just sounds great to me. For some
That
reason.
sounds better than turkey.
It doesn't it? Just like a big
Yeah.
old bucket of the Colonel on Christmas. But I don't think any KFC in the United States is open on Christmas.
Yeah, I was very mad at Thanksgiving where I didn't have any pecan pie, and I fucking love pecan pie. And my wife was like, well, if you want pecan pie, just make pecan pie. So it's now my intention to make a bomb-ass pecan pie for Christmas.
Fair. But yeah, that's just it for me. I mean, kids will open presents, adults will open presents,
I think
alcohol will be consumed, and I will watch Gremlins at some point in time, which my kids love Gremlins.
I think my goal for Christmas this year is to just actually make something that's edible for our Christmas meal.
You want some church spaghetti?
Yeah. Oh God.
I fucking love getting my kid toys. So I'm looking. I still got a few more things I want to buy for them, but
we just bought the girls
enjoy
yesterday.
that.
We bought them the remote control Wally that's at Target.
Uh-huh.
It was like $50.
The last time I got your kid anything, he was scared of it.
Yeah, he was. I just got him some toys from the movie Cars because he loves cars, but then he also loves the movie Cars. So I got him a couple of toys from that, and I'm gonna get him a couple more toys from some other stuff that he loves.
I bought him an inflatable riding dragon that was like cartoony, not like a scary dragon. It wasn't a scary dragon.
It's scary to him. That's all that matters. I got my nephew is fucking very much big into fucking monster trucks and stuff. So I got him like this $40 Hot Wheels set that is it's like 6 monster trucks and like 6 cars, and they're all done up in the paint of like blacklight posters. Like they're all neon colors and shit,
that's
glow
really
in the
cool.
dark. And I saw that and I was like, that's dope. He'll probably like that. So I got him that for Christmas. And like I said, I got the kids got a bunch of shit, but I got them that Wally, which I picked up the Wally, and I was like, you think they'll like this? And Caleb was like, oh, I like it. And I was like, what's not to like? It's Wally. He's one of the best Disney characters ever.
Oh yeah.
So.
It's a great season. Right now I can get away with getting him whatever, and I know he won't end up entitled. This event won't make him entitled. I'm hoping to figure out that balance.
Yeah, well,
as they get older.
We get to deal with the inevitable fear of kids going from like, I just want this toy, to eventually me and you will be dealing with, they want this gaming console for Christmas or this tablet, and it's just like those days I dread. I like the Christmases where it's just a bunch of toys. I don't like dealing with having to make room for all the toys because my kids have my parents and their biological parents, and so there's a lot of toys that are going to end up at my fucking house, and there's a lot of toys that need to be cleared out to make room for it, which I always feel like a human sack of shit when I have to sort through toys and decide what leaves the house.
So I'm to an extent, like, it's going to be hard right now when they're so young, but I look forward to, like, I was just telling my wife this the other day. I was like, it's fine if he wants something right now and he plays with it for, I don't mind spending $5-10 on a toy that he only plays with a couple of times, because once he's old enough to understand, that then becomes our chance to teach him, like, hey, you don't play with this stuff. You can donate this and give this to somebody who does need it. And it's also his opportunity to start dabbling with teaching grief, where he's going to be upset that he's going to lose some of this stuff. But it's a chance for him to learn how to cope with that without
by the time a toy has
horrible.
reached the end of its life cycle with my children, if I donate to Goodwill, they would be like, what the fuck? Like, what are we going to do with this naked Barbie missing an arm? I'm like, oh, fucking no.
Dude, I'll tell you some of his favorite toys.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, his number one favorite toy right now that I see him playing with the most is that fire truck Zord.
Yeah, from Cure Ranger, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't play with all the cars from it. He doesn't build the Zord. He plays with the fire truck.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all right. After I got him those Zords, I bought me the whole fucking set, and it's on a shelf in my living.
Really cool Zords.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of a lot of the toys for the modern Zords, but it's nice and simple, so it's great for little kids, which I know that's why you got it, and that's a great idea, but they're also just really cool designs.
Yeah, no, I bought the whole, after I got him that, I played with it for like a week before I gave it to him, and then I was like, I'm buying this whole fucking set, and I did, and I've got them all on my shelf.
Last night, he ran up in my bed with the giraffe Zord that you had got him for his first birthday.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's good about playing with everything he has throughout the course of a week. And he's still, like, he absolutely appreciates those gifts for sure.
Yeah. It's fun now. Like I said, we're just waiting until they get older and they want crazy shit like, I want the Xbox 980 or fucking, I want the new iPad. Or
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that because I already have an obsession with tech. So
I don't have
I know.
anything like that, so I'm dreading it.
So aside from just the hit to your pocketbook, chances are.
Here's the thing: you probably have an old generation already. Like, here you go.
I mean, it's very possible. Or I'll build him some kind of cheap gaming PC and he won't necessarily grow up with consoles.
Yeah,
We'll
we're kind
see.
of getting away from that. Oh, I would say we're kind of getting away from that, but I don't really feel like any of these markets will absolutely let us get away from consoles
Yeah.
ever.
So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I've got a long time before I have to worry about that. We got him a cheap tablet just so that, like, when we were on plane rides or car trips, he has something to sit and watch stuff on. But, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say with our two what it's going to look like as they get older.
Well, that being said, Christmas is over. I hope all y'all have a great New Year out there. Make sure to check out our merch site at the UnitedStatesOfParanormal.com. It also just has our bios, and you can actually listen to the podcast on there if you want to. Or check out any of our... You look disappointed. Why do you look disappointed?
Because I didn't have a natural plug for our email this episode.
Oh, it's fine. Or if you want to email us and tell us how your Christmas went or what your Christmas traditions are, even though it's already come and gone, hit us up at the UnitedStatesOfParanormal@gmail.com. Make sure to check out all the other Golden Mojo network of podcast shows like the Call Guys, Murd Nerds, the Indiana Chiefs fans, Golden Image, and eventually a Court of Books and Booze whenever the Skywalker finally decides to get that out.
That's not a bad name.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, is it like a court or is it like a court like a measurement court? It could go either way.
No, it's I imagine it's a court like the royal court.
Yeah.
Not a legal court, but the royal court.
Or are they drinking a quart of booze?
That plays into book titling.
Yep.
The something of something and something is a very common book naming strategy.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the books they're going to be reading right off the bat, but eventually that will be coming down the pike. So
Yeah, I'm hoping that we read a lot of similar books, and maybe I'll get an invite to be on that podcast.
Do you really think they read a lot of RPG and fantasy?
I do a lot of lit
Skylar's a
RPG.
big dork like the rest of us, so
He
it's
Who
a
Fights
high
with
possibility.
Monsters.
I read
Dungeon-
3 lit RPGs.
You hear that, Skylar? Send us an email. Tell us what kind of books you like to read. Tell Brandon to fucking shove it.
Yeah. If you'd like to tell Brandon to shove it, email us at the UnitedStatesOfParanormal@gmail.com.
But that being said, everybody have a great new year. We'll see you in 2023. This has been Logan.
Boze.
It's been Matt.
Fucking, that was out of order. Y'all keep it spooky.
To support other Golden Mojo Entertainment productions, check out Golden Image Podcast, The Call Guys, and Murd Nerds wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. To see photos and find new episodes of the United States of Paranormal, follow us on our social media. Twitter at TUSOPPOD or Instagram at the United States of Paranormal and Facebook, the United States of Paranormal. If you have a place that you'd like us to look into or would like to share your spooky story that we can read on the air, please email us at the United States of Paranormal@gmail.com.